To me, everything is about community. I want my students to realize it wasn't just that they learned some theories, the theories are important, but they used those. So they see where communication and community are the same thing. I'm Anne Hubbell, and I'm in the Communication Studies Department. I study health communication and organizational communication. My outreach is in two different areas. The first is through social learning. Every semester I have at least one class, sometimes two, where students have to work on a project with an organization. The undergraduates, I pick their leaders and their organizations, and then they volunteer there and they have certain projects they have to do, and I pick organizations where all the effort goes right to the people who need it. The other part of what I do is my own personal outreach. I feel that as a person who is fairly good with communication, that what I need to do is communicate for them. I'm an advocate for the therapeutic writing program. Every time they need help with writing something up or getting letters out to the legislature or support in a project, I'm there. And the fundraising, I try to get students there to help. And I also teach sign language in the schools and volunteer at Casa de Peregrinos. It's two things. If I'm going to have the students do it, I should be doing it too. The therapeutic writing program is run by Sarah Veeder. What they do is they take anyone from the community who have disabilities. She trains students to be therapists with these children, and they put these little tiny children, and sometimes older children and sometimes adults, who can't move, can't function, have no control over their own lives, on the horses, and then they do a series of tasks. And the therapist usually works directly with the child as they go through. And she's run this program basically with no budget for many years. But these children, they live for that half an hour to 45 minutes they get to be on that horse. It's amazing. My daughter as well really inspires me. When she was diagnosed with significant hearing impairment, she went through a lot. And I saw where she lost all of her confidence. And when she was part of the therapeutic riding program, which I didn't even know existed, when she was on that horse and able to control this huge animal, and she was very, very small. And she went from being a child who was having outbursts because she was frustrated with not being able to hear, to the confident child that I know now. Casa de Peregrinos is a food pantry, and they work closely with the Community of Hope and Tent City and the campus that is around there with all the different nonprofit organizations that serve the homeless and people who are struggling. I love working with Lorenzo Alba because he is so passionate about it that when he comes in and talks to students about it, they realize how powerful it is to give people food. And when the students have to present about their projects, at the very end, undergraduate and graduate students, the thing they all have to talk about is what they learned from the project. It's really interesting because a lot of times they admit their own biases and how they had all these preconceived notions. But then when they get in there and they work with people, they realize that it's all about community. And being part of a community means you have to give to those who need it. There's a few reasons why I really think it's important. And the first was my father always was involved in outreach. We weren't a wealthy family, but he always believed in giving back. So I think I learned it from him. And the other part is, and it's something that actually Dean Slayton says, and it's a phrase I used to say it when I was department head, is you can either be part of the problem or part of the solution. And people always complain about a homeless person. They say, well, if you give them money, they're just going to spend it. Okay, well, if that's true, then let's give them food. Let's try to give them shelter. Let's try to give them the opportunities to change the situation they're in. So I think those two things, growing up with that, thinking that that's what you're supposed to do, and then the belief that you can either complain or you can take action. My dad used to always say, have a job where when you go to work, it doesn't feel like work. And when I come here, it doesn't feel like work. The students make it interesting and exciting, and then the things that I can bring that make it interesting for them makes it so that there's a way that they come together in a classroom that is so powerful, that it makes it the best job in the world. Anne Hubbell, Department of Communication Studies, College of Arts and Sciences.